Hey everybody, welcome to another one of my videos. So my video today is slightly related to some of my old videos. I'm going to try to combine some ideas here. I've had these thoughts going through my head, and a lot of it is more questions than answers. I really am trying to get some feedback from the community because I do have questions about stuff and I'd like to hear what other people think. So if you've seen a couple of my videos and they're interesting and you're continuing to watch them and you haven't made a comment yet, please, by all means, comment on this. Talk some shit, agree with me, disagree with me. You can have decorum if you like. You'll get a better response out of me, but, you can be a total dick about it too. It's fine. Dick, cunt, whatever you prefer, go ahead. Chew me up. So, today's topic's a little weird, but I'll go ahead and tell you what it is. It's why the fuck are women so into communism? Yeah, that's what my topic today is. So I've been thinking about it, and I mean, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of men that are interested in communism, but I noticed that men are a lot less comfortable with that word communism. They definitely need to trick themselves into thinking it's Marxism or socialism or something else. Either that or they're just, totally cucked out and they don't care. But I've noticed, and a lot of this has to do with the liberal town I lived in. It's called Asheville, North Carolina. If you're not familiar with it, for a long time I used to joke about it being called Sheville, because it's a town run by women, and they're running it right into the fucking ground as we speak. They have. I mean, the place is beautiful, and it's a nice little destination, and the weather's nice, and the scenery's beautiful. And for a while, there were a lot of really interesting, creative people there, though they've been slowly trickling away, myself included. I got pushed out of that place. I A, couldn't afford it, and B, couldn't stand the rhetoric and the ideology and the just nastiness of people. It had gotten really bad. Anyway, I wonder, and this is one of the questions I'm asking, why are women so easy to accept communism into their lives? Why are they so easy? And I'm not saying all of them, but I would say if you were to count 100 people, and I'd love to do this experiment. I'd love it. It's really just an observation of mine, and it's not based on anything except for my own personal observation. Okay, let me go ahead and say that. And I could throw out numbers and whatever. It's not going to mean anything, but I have noticed that, and I can go ahead and answer my own question as far as what I think it is. I think they're more prone to thinking communism is a good idea because women aren't hunters. Not all of them. Again, and when I use these generalizations, that's what they are. They're generalizations. Yes, there are women hunters. Sure. Okay. Through the evolutionary, times and all that stuff. No, but women were the homemakers, and the men went out and hunted and gathered. And that was the division of labor. Men had stronger physical bodies, and we could take down animals and whatever. We were actually, one of the reasons why we were more successful than women as hunters was our ability to form a hierarchy with a leader and have that leader lead the hunt. Women tend to argue a lot more. Again. And I think that's part of it too. Communism always invites an argument, not a debate. Communism is all about sitting around and waiting for shit to be brought to you rather than going out and getting it. That's another thing. At least modern women, they're so pampered and so fucking taken care of that they assume everything will just come to them. Oh, let me turn this dating app on. All I have to do is put a profile on and men will just come to me. You think that happens for dudes? No, it doesn't. Dudes have to go out there and hunt and get. And, whatever, if on that same app, they've got to go through and match with, 100 different women just to get one to even come, and respond back. Just like, how many squirrels you have to chase down with a slingshot before you actually knock one in the head so you can eat it? A lot. I know from experience as a child. I never ate them though. Whatever. That's just one of my early experiences with hunting, and I wish I have done more hunting as an adult, but I haven't. Anyway, I'm just trying to relate the little bit of firsthand experience I have with that. The same thing goes for fishing or catching any living thing to eat. Living things do not want to be caught and eaten. It's difficult. They won't come to you. Your best bet, if you don't want to have to go out and chase them down, is to set traps, is to develop technology. And I mean, essentially, our whole modern world is just the evolution of that idea of us setting traps for certain animals, to where we've now trapped so many that we can hold them in captivity and just slaughter them at will. How many women do you think helped develop that tech? How many women do you think helped breed cows so that they would be really easy to eat? Maybe some. Again, there's always mavericks. There's always outliers, and not every man is a hunter either. There's plenty of men that have stayed behind with the women and, made baskets and fixed teepees and shit. I'm really reaching here. I'm trying to be as sexist and culturally ignorant as possible, just so you guys know. Really trying to get this debate started. Talk some shit, okay? But I really want to know what the deal is. Like, do women not sense the danger that's coming? Are they so afraid of these things that have been made up in the media that the fear of what they should know better? Like, it's not like communism is something new. It's not like communism is COVID, where it just came in next year and we're not really sure about it. And a lot of the fear is in the unknowing. No, communism, which came from socialism, which came from Marxism, we have 150 years of the theory being applied and failing over and over and over again. We have an entire 20th century of it murdering so many millions of people. The promise is a lie. God damn it. Do you women just love lies? I mean, if that's the real answer, we are fucking doomed. I mean, I think we're doomed anyway, honestly. Most of us are. I think we're headed towards a big ice age, and that's why all these so-called elites are pushing so hard to take control now, is because they want to lock up the resources for themselves. That way, when this shit comes through and people start starving by the millions, they can just kind of move their hand and wipe us out of the way. I don't think it's going to work. I think hubris is going to be their undoing. And I mean, hubris probably has a part to play with it too in my critique here of women and their easy acceptance of so-called liberalism. And see, the reason is, all right, here's another answer. I'll answer my question again, since I'm only having this conversation with myself right now. Liberalism started as a bunch of good ideas. There was a lot of old-fashioned bullshit that was going on. Let's just use the 20th century as an example. But the further back you go, the more you can uncover layers of an onion of a lot of bullshit that we've been peeling back for hundreds of years. As we try to improve ourselves, and it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But we've developed. God, I got lost. Hang on a second. Nothing like a nice clean towel to refresh, you know what I mean, and kind of reset your ideas. I watched this. myself. It's a nice towel. Anyway, so I don't have a whole lot of hope in women, and they've done it to themselves. I think the 21st century, at least once we get past another decade or so, it's going to be a lot more like the 19th century was. We're going to move backwards quite a bit. You know, at some point there's going to be what everybody fears the most, a giant cataclysm, and not a man-made cataclysm of financial or war variety, but there's going to be a solar flare or an EMP or an asteroid, or Yellowstone's going to blow up. It's not going to be this climate change horse shit, and I'll do another video about that later. That's the distraction. That's the magician holding something in his hand over here while he's trying to cover shit up over here. Climate change is a giant distraction, and I love how they basically any kind of extreme weather now is our fault. No, dummy, it's the sun. People don't even understand. People living on the planet Earth don't understand how unbelievably massive the sun is compared to the size of the Earth. Like, I don't even have an object here that I could use to compare the size. If this was the sun, I don't know. Do I have a fucking here? This little bit of hair. This is the Earth and this is the sun. And I don't care if it's millions of miles away. It is what affects our weather here. And just a little bit of change on the sun is magnified here, in such a way where we're just starting to understand it. And the scientists here, they're actually told, no, stop studying that. Keep studying carbon. Keep studying plant food. Well, you got to have something for the diversity hires to work on, because they're dumb as shit compared to the people that should be getting the jobs that aren't, because they don't have the right genitals or the right skin color or the right ideology. And guess who pushes all this nonsense? It's communists. Guess who loves communists so much? Women. Weak men. It's all because of the collectivism. Women tend to want to be collectivized, I guess. The whole colony type thing. And a lot, I'm not saying, there's plenty of men that want to do it too, but that pioneering spirit of just going out and taking, whether you want to talk about a pirate or a Viking or the supposed man on the moon or whatever, the pioneering spirit of just going out into the total nothingness and trying to make something happen, trying to find something to steal, to exploit, something new to destroy. Oh, the ideology has just gotten so destructive. Like, anything that is any kind of change, like real change, is feared. And they bring in this fake change, this wokeness, which it's so ironic that it's called being woke, because all it is just being put to sleep. It's snoozing, not wokeness. And I tell you, from living in a town full of women running shit, time's up. Me too. I'm fed up. And time's up. Anyway, what I was talking about earlier was when this cataclysmic stuff starts going down and technology can't save us and people start starving and dying, shit's gonna get real. And all this wokeness, all this communism, all this nonsense that has happened because we've been soft, because we've been given all this shit, because we've had all these things brought to us, and we've had men turn into women, and women pretend that they're men, and everybody going soft, you know, myself included. I am slowly on my own little path back to hardening myself again and trying to, you know, turn my flab into muscles, trying to turn my cookie dough in my head back into a nice fucking sharp knife. You know, I'm working on it. And if I'm full of shit, let's hear about it. I mean, I probably am. I mostly am. At this point, I don't think I could have done more in this video to trigger and anger people into some kind of fucking response. Because let's have it, finally. I want to hear it. I soaked you with fucking misogyny and racism and classicism and just pig-headedness. Come on. Give it to me. Give it to me, baby. I love you, and I mean it. Ooh, let's have it. Come on. All right. Till next time.